So we have been talking on the just about to move from the fourth stage to the fifth, which is the piti patisangvedi assasisamiti sikkati and pasasisamiti sikkati, which is basically means we train ourselves to breathe in sensitive to rapture and breathe out and breathe in. So sensitive to the rapture.
Assa sisamiti means? Assa sisamiti means?
Breathe out. Breathe out. Breathe out.
Passa?
Passa, breathe out. Breathe in.
Breathe in.
So this is the second part. This is called Vedana Anupasana, or contemplation on the feeling. Now this is the second tretra, they say, second tretra. And in this second tretra, the first one is the piti, or the rapture or joy. Now you have to remember here, the word called sikkati, the last one, the train. We have to come back again here, training, sikkati. And in the meantime, because we have been working with the breath, and mostly we were working on the bodily functions and bodily creations. And with that, as you have developed this counterpart, and now the counterpart simply fades away now. Okay? So counterpart of this counterpart sign, the object, gradually fades away. And here, the dominant thing would be the rapture. So that's why here we have to remember, now if you have worked with this counterpart, you will be able to see that there is this material and immaterial part, and you're observing. Right? So counterpart is the material object, right? Material thing, or it's called a rupa, material. And then the second part is the mind that is observing it. Okay? So mind that is observing it, so that is immaterial part. And then within that again, this Vedana, the sensation, is also part of immateriality. Immateriality. So I think a couple of weeks ago I also mentioned that our body is made of 5 aggregates, and within that 5 aggregates, the first part is the materiality, the rupa, and the other 4 parts, the Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, or the feeling, perception, formations, and consciousness. This is the immaterial part. And within that immaterial part, now we are working on this 2. The consciousness, which is consciously aware, and then the Vedana, the feeling one. Right? So feeling part. So now you see the 2 different things now. Okay? Now we are coming out from the material part now. Okay? Coming out from the material part. As a result of that, even last week I mentioned about observation of different types of sensations. Like the some kind of animal, insects crawling in your face, or in this around the nose, right? And also like goosebumps coming up, or the expansion of the body, contractions of the body, or feeling of a levitation, or a disappearing of this body, and also the feeling the light in your heart, the openness of there. So these are the signs to recognize that, okay, now on I am not working with the material part. And this has simply happened because mind is so focused and able to sustain our concentration on that counterpart. So we are not leaving it. That's why there is a breathing in. So we are not leaving the breath. So we are still there, but the dominant experiences are, that is there. Right? So that's why it's important to work on that. Right? And then this piti or this rapture is something that comes at the moment of the more you're able to hang on with the counterpart. Right? The longer that you hang on, and the piti or rapture will arise with this simply, oh wow, I can stay with it. I can stay with it, and as a result, other sensations arises. The simile is given. So first, suppose I hit the gong. So first hitting gong, the first hit is that our mind concentrated on the breath, and then the second we able to follow the sound, the sound of this gong continuously. So the effect of the sound that we are continue observing that sound is basically we able to hang on with that object, and then when we able to hear this sound, and then we feel so calm, so soothing, right? So calming. So that is a rapture. Right? So that is the rapture. And so that similar context, so we have to remember in the practice of a meditation that these sort of experiences will occur. And do you know why that occur? It's because we have overcome or we have suppressed all the 5 hindrances that we were talking about, so-called sensual pleasure and so on. So those been suppressed. Right? That is no more coming to disturb us, and that is the reason why at this moment our mind is completely absorbed with the counterpart sign or the object of the meditation. The 5 hindrances, the sensual pleasure, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and doubts been suppressed. They have no power at all. It's like I have not. The simile is given. It's like you have put the stone on top of the grass, so the grass cannot grow anymore. Can
they coexist?
Sorry?
Can they coexist?
Coexist in a sense?
Like Kamachanda Vyapada Tina Midda Uddachaka Kucha Vichikicha and Vitakka Vichara Preta Sukha Ekagata.
You cannot. If the sensual pleasure is there, then your mind is not settled.
Mix and match now.
So mix and match.
Half is possible.
I don't know. But normally it's secluded from sensual pleasure. That moment, then the first the jhanas, like the ability to be with the thought, with the object, constantly with the object. As long as your mind is still wandering, you cannot have this. So our mind has only one object at a time. You cannot have 2. So you have to choose either of this or that. Right? So here what happens is that if you are going with the sensual pleasure, right, and then you don't have a wise attention, unwholesome mental state will develop. So that's why there is a sentence called secluded from sensual pleasure and secluded from unwholesome mental state. That moment, then the first stage of called thought, right? Maintaining the vitakka, the ability to be with the object begins. And when we able to stay with the object, then there's positive qualities that will come. Otherwise, these will not able to come. So you have to leave this one in order to have that one. So you can't have two fish at the same time. So that's why you have to leave this sensual pleasure and ill will, sloth and torpor, and restlessness and worry and doubt. So now when you said that one, so the simile given, sensual pleasure is like a colored water. we do not see the pure color. The fuzziness is there. We cannot see what's inside the water. So our mind is fuzzy, right? Or, colored. Right? And that's happened. And with that, what happened, we will be stick with based on what we like to, whatever color we like, we will be attached to that color, and we will be go with that color. So that's why, based on that, we go into the perception of attached to certain colors. Do you have a favorite color? How that favorite color developed? Right? So that's craving. Sometimes it is craving, sometimes it is conditioned by somebody else. Constantly you are given that color, and eventually you are attached to that color, and you feel comfortable with that color. Initially we do not recognize, like a little boy, they will not recognize that these are the colors called this. But we condition them to recognize that. And then the more the color you see or given, and you feel like something pleasant with that, then you take it as this is my favorite color. I didn't have that favorite color for a long time. Until when I went to Thailand as a novice, and then after a year, almost 2 years later, we were given from a very big and like a communal a building. We were given one room for each one of us. And then I moved into this newly built room, and one of the nuns asked me that what color do you like for the curtain? And I didn't know what color. So she asked, what is your favorite color? Then, what is my favorite color? What to do with that? And then I told her, whatever you like. So she used green color, right? And then because of the question she asked, what is your favorite color? And the green color curtain is always there. Eventually, I was observing myself. Eventually, it comes whenever somebody asked me, what is your favorite color? I go to the green. Straight away, go to the green. And in the meantime, so I never bought any clothes in the past until I came to UK, right? Until I come to UK. And then after a year later, I went for shopping as a get presents for my relatives in Nepal. Do you remember what color did I buy?
So many greens.
All green.
No green. No green.
No.
No. All this color. Right? All this color. And then I didn't know the gents' clothes, and I didn't know the female clothes. So I bought it. I just say, okay, this is for this person, this is for this. I didn't know that. So that's why these conditioned developed, and that is now because of the conditioned and our desire to do and react on it. So with that we have adapted. So that's how our mind is polluted based on desire. We discussed last week, content and then desire. Right? So with that we cannot free ourselves. Right? Same with the ill will. Now second one, ill will. The simile given, do you know what is the simile, ill will? Boiling water. Ill will, resentment, anger is like a boiling water. You cannot touch. So, that is given. That's when we become angry, that's how it happened. We are boiling. We think of so many things and negativities, right? And how to harm and how to cause troubles, and then so we will be bringing past and the future and combining and using all the algorithm to form a sentence so that after I said, that person becomes upset. Right? So that is like a boiling water. And that also needs to suppress or subside. Right? And then a third one is a sloth and torpor. Right? It's like the algae in a pond. When you have other plants, algae, then you cannot see through. You cannot see through what's inside the water. And a restless and a worry, that is like a wind blowing this surface of the water and making ripples. And with that again, also you cannot see. So that is again, when our mind is too much disturbed at that time, also we cannot see what's inside our mind. Our mind is not settled yet. So we have to make it stabilized. And then we can see through our mind. So the third, and then last one is the doubt. Doubt is like the muddy water, thicket. So we cannot see through either. So that also needs to cleanse it. Once we have cleansed these and then we are secluded from that, then what happens that there will be no unwholesome mental states. Because unwholesome mental states are the result of having these hindrances coming in action. And our mind is basically overcome by the hindrances, and that's why we cannot practice. So we cannot develop wholesome actions, wholesome mental states. And now, talking about this seclusion, now I think we discussed on that as well, that there is a bodily seclusion. What else? Remember, Tusara?
Mind. Mind, is it?
Bodily seclusion, mental seclusion, and then the defilement, seclusion from the defilements. Right? So here we are talking about two seclusions in this case. In order to gain the first absorption, or gain the complete absorption, our mind is able. I think better. Mind is able to hang on to the object, so that there is nothing to do with our bodily functions or nothing to do with the breath, but we feel other sensation. That is the rapture. And this rapture is another simile given. The simile given is, like, I think I have mentioned this before a couple of weeks ago. It's like you are walking through the desert. You're walking through the desert and you're very thirsty. You're very thirsty, and then suddenly somebody told you that, okay, after you walked a couple of miles ahead, now there is a water oasis there. So having heard of that oasis, that actually calms your mind in certain degree, and that is a joy of knowing that this is there. Right? So that's a joy. Right? And this is now going into now drinking is like when you drunk the water. As soon as you start drinking a water, that is a happiness. You clenched your desire, your thirst. So that's also happened. So here in the practice of meditation, what's happening is that when we experience those joys and this different certain insects crawling, expansion, and these things happen, when we recognize that, our heart blossoms at that moment. There's two things happen at that time. One, you want to scratch or open and check. That's your desire. So kamachanda is coming. So sensual pleasure coming, because I don't want this one. I want peace. Right? So you want to react on that, and that moment you lose that. Whereas if you're calmly observing that, and then when you observe and you realize, oh, this is happening, and then it just goes, and then that moment is another happiness comes. So that is a happiness. Oh wow, wonderful. Okay? So that is another stage you come. And so this is again, now just remember, when we look at the Satipatthana, in the contemplation of feeling, it comes to talk about pleasant sensations and unpleasant sensations and neutral sensations. Okay? So there are 3 sensations, and that's related to the body. Okay? And then there is another 2 sensations. There's a somanassa and domanassa. It's a mental happiness and mental unhappiness in a way. So there are 5 sensations, and these all 5 sensations are not related here, according to this one. So we are talking about the stage of the absorption.
Sorry, why there's no mental middle upekka? The way you...
Yeah, upekka. Why not upekka?
Which one?
The mental...
For mental, somanassa, domanassa, the extreme ends, and why not the middle one?
In Satipatthana Sutta.
So there are 5.
Why not 6?
Why not 6? I don't know.
Because somanassa, domanassa, upeksha. So upeksha is the 3rd one. Is it not mentioning?
There is number 1 is dukkha, right? So unpleasant sensation. Second one is
Pleasant sensation.
Pleasant sensation. The 3rd one is neither pleasant nor unpleasant sensation. Right? And then this is a bodily sensations. And then the 3rd one is mental happiness, and then mental pleasant sensation, and then the 2nd one is mental unpleasant sensation. Right? So there is no neutral.
There's no neutral there.
Okay? Why do you think? I don't know. So, okay. Now, but here in the Anapanasati, we are not talking about that, because we are talking on a stage of a jhanic absorption. So we are not talking about the material things here now, and the world called worldly lokia, so worldly sense. So we are not looking from that stage. Right? We are in a stage that mind is, and this is again, you can only observe when you are in meditation. Remember, right? Out of the meditation you cannot observe these ones. Right? Whereas the pleasant sensation, unpleasant sensation, neutral sensations, or mental happiness and mental unhappiness, these you can experience at any time. Right? And that is again conditioned, and that relates to the body. That's why I call always related to the body. Right? Whereas here it is only possible when you are meditating. Right? That's why it's called a rapture. Once you leave, then you are not experiencing it. But if you are remembering it, or if you are having it, it's like the sound of the gong is still coming. Right? And as you are thinking of that one, like that. So, in this piti, that's why the rapture, or the this joy, is something that when you are meditating at that time only you can experience. Right? And when you experience, what happens is that energizes you now. Right? That's why it confirms the 5 indriyas that I mentioned last time. That becomes a strength. So confidence comes. Yeah? Our confidence in the practice develops, and effort. We put a lot of effort now, and with that, there will be a less tiredness there now. Always wanting to practice, always wanting to practice. that develops there too. Okay, and then here with that, now what's happening here, that our mind is in a stage of the heart is blooming and the smile is in your face. Smile, automatically you're smiling. There's some, like, there is a sense, they call, what's called radiant. Your face becomes radiant. Your heart becomes very light.
It's called meditation glow.
Okay.
I heard it somewhere.
And this time again, we have to employ this wise attention there. Wise attention there. Otherwise, we again stuck there. We will be just mesmerized by with this experience of. And this experience, now stages there, right? Stages kudaka piti, like short momentary joyness, and then kanika piti, which is a bit longer, and then feel like expansion or like shaking the body and levitation and these things. As these develops, and it comes to the stage that, and at this stage now, if we want to comprehend that in a very, so there are two ways going in here now. One, you can develop into the absorption, and another one is you can develop into the insight now. So at this moment, you can employ this the nature of impermanence there. That whatever the rapture, whatever this animal crawling in your face, or the expansion and the contraction and these things are basically, if your mind is sharp enough, you notice just flicking moment, and it just moves, and then your mind becomes such a stage that sometimes you want to it's like you want, but you become observer. But in the meantime, your investigative mind is there. So you want to investigate what's happening here. Okay?
Can I share a experience there? So, like, I think I experienced the kind of a joy, maybe, that goosebumps and that, and then I was observing. Actually, it's not like I felt like it's not mine. It's just I was observing the experience, and it came like quite. It was going like really, what do you get? Increasing. It was increasing, and it came to like a kind of a maximum, kind of like it was coming, and just went away completely. But I was actually kind of, it felt like it is not mine, and then it was like quite, after that it was just no joy or anything, just peacefulness. That's I think it's kind of what you are.
Yeah. So after you come out, see the last bit is the next one. There is a sixth, a sukha.
Oh.
Like, oh wow. So that is a sukha.
Okay.
That's bodily experience.
No, mentally. Not bad. Now we are not talking about the bodily experience. We're talking about the mental awareness. Mentally, we observe the sensation that's happening. Okay? When we observe whatever that's related to the rapture. Okay? So we observe that rapture, observing in a sense, as it fades away, straight away, it fades away, the heart simply blooms. And then, oh wow. That is the sukha. It's like you have clenched your
that's
thirst.
pretty.
No.
Sukha is the body.
No, sukha, not the bodily. There's slight difference there. Bodily sukha and the mental sukha is there. There's a different. It's mind simply becomes very light, bright,
serene,
and very calm, not related to the body at all. So body actually at that time, the body in a way not exist, because this form is already emerged. So what's called merged into the universe.
Because on the first jhana, you'll get only vitakka, vichara, priti. Don't get sukha.
No, that's why. But her experience is. That's why I said she experienced that state. But to get that again, you have to practice. But this is not the physical experience; it's a mental state. Right? So that happens. Right? But again, in order to get that, obviously, you have to work. That's why coming back to the object, the counterpart object, and able to stay there. The longer you can stay, the better you become, and you will experience this joy and rapture and sukha later on. Okay, it's already 15 now, so. So the conclusion that I would like to say, that we have secluded all the hindrances, starting from the sensual pleasure, and then there is no unwholesome mental state anymore. There is no unwholesome mental state anymore, and with that our mind is fully established on the object of meditation, able to be with that object. Okay, and then while we are observing that, our mind is not distracted, and we are able to be with that. And as we are observing that, our mind settles down and calms down, and as the mind settled and calmed, these different other sensations, so-called the piti or a rapture that arises. So try to notice that rapture. So that's why it's called a sikkati, means training. Train to notice that these things are happening while I am meditating, and that's the result of able to be mindful of this breath at the specific point. Okay? So I think I end here. Okay? Any other question to ask on this? Right, okay. In that case, let's practice loving kindness meditation. So spend some time relaxing your body, settling your mind down on the breath. And try to observe any sensations, not in a body, but your experience. But the breath is always at the background, helping you to be here and now. Now we'll practice loving kindness meditation. So relax yourself and bring your attention to observe the sensations in your body. Whatever sensations are there, just try to be mindful of that. And bring that attention to your heart. Feel the beating heart. And generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. Mentally you may recite as you feel the connection with your heart. I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. And similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from the dear one or any particular person that you would like to share. Bring into your mind. And sharing this loving kindness and compassion to that person. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be at peace. And expanding it to the entire cosmos, whatever beings there are. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. Now bring your attention back to body. Feel the sensations in your body. And to your eyes. Now creating intention to open your eyes and come out from the practice as you hear the gong, and reflect for a few moments. While reflecting, I just got to one point that this time, if we really want to develop, we have to practice morality strictly. So at least 5 precepts. If you are practicing 5 precepts and you're confident with that, then the rest becomes easier. And that's one of the requirements. That's called a firm foundation to develop that. Okay. So let's pay respect. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivate Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami.